opens up the box and plays the game. He never reads instructions cause they're lame. He's Bowser. Oh, he plays the game so badly. His eyes are twitching madly. He's here again so sadly. He's Bowser. Oh.
Hello, welcome back. Right, welcome to the video that very nearly didn't get made. Now, when I say it very nearly didn't get made, the reason for that is that I dropped my BBC Micro. I managed to catch it before it hit the deck, but part of it still did connect with the ground. And as a result, there is the tiniest little crack just there, but it's testament to the fact that this machine is built like a tank, that it's still in working order. Absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. It was a real sort of heart in my mouth moment. And the reason it happened was I have a propensity to use this antibacterial hand gel quite a lot, really. It's kind of like an OCD thing I've got. And I'd use them because I don't have much space. Once the BBC is not being used, I put it back under the desk in the box that it came in when it was sent to me. And I went to get it out and I hadn't waited for the stuff on my hands to dry, and of course it slipped. And everything happened in slow motion, and I just managed to catch hold of it just under there. Otherwise, God knows what would have happened. But bear in mind, you know, how flimsy and fragile some modern technology is. I think that's absolutely great. I'm sure if it was an iPhone or something, it would be in 1,000 bits by now. Right, so, Tapper. Here we go. That's my original copy for the Spectrum that I got in the 6-pack of software that came with my Plus 2, my Grey Plus 2 that my parents bought me for Christmas 1986, along with Way of the Tiger, Nomad, Cosmic Wartoad, Legend of the Amazon Women, and another one, can't remember. Right, so I'm going to show you it on the BBC Micro. The running order is going to be BBC Micro, Commodore 64, Spectrum, Amstrad CPC. Again, it's just interesting to show you what the differences and similarities are between them. BBC Micro is obviously going to be first, so let's get that version going. Right, so it's about page 55, I think, 57. Yep, there we go. So, of course, released by US Gold, based on the Bally Midway arcade game. In fact, this is actually released by Sega, although I always thought it was... Anyway, whatever. Tapper, otherwise known as Root Beer Tapper, is one of the great arcade games. It's one of my favourite games, one of a few that I come back to every now and then, because it's just... well, it's like me, really. It's simple. It's addictive, and it's fun. It's just so much fun. So, without further ado, let's get into it. As ever, please shout out your thoughts and your memories and your recollections of whatever version it was you have, or you had, together with any observations you may have on the systems that you didn't know it on. Right, let us go. Okay, here we are, BBC Micro version of Tapper. And it's asking us to redefine our keys, so I'll have my usual, please. Space for pour or serve. Q for up. A for down. Come on. Now, yep, those are okay. Now, what you're going to find is that this is really quite a pleasant version of the game. Let's just zoom that out slightly somewhat so you can see the screen. In total there, it really is nice, and I was surprised and happy to see that the BBC had a version of this game. So here we go, let's go into the BBC Micro version. Right, really nice and colourful, again really loud, but you know the score, you know, everyone knows what Tapper is. You've got to serve the drinks to the customers on each row and catch the returned glasses and money that they might... Oh, thank God for that. I thought I'd buggered that one up already. Right, here's the guessing game one. Yeah, got it. I've been impressed with the BBC Micro version of this. Ah! Oh, I've messed this up already, haven't I think. You see, it gets really quite frantic, and oh dear, didn't manage to catch the glass. The graphics really nice and blocky and colourful, as per the BBC's style. The sound is really good, but again, the usual criticism of the BBC Micro, you cannot control the volume on it. Whoa. And it gets very frantic very quickly. Oh dear, oh dear. Now, I said it's one of my favourite games. I didn't profess to be any good at it, did I? And I know that I've covered it before, a couple of times actually, just on the Spectrum. So it's really, really great to be able to show you all these other versions. Oh, fuck off! Oh, sorry. Ah! Damn. But yeah, really, really happy with this. Oh shit. With this version of Tapper. I think it's very competent, good fun to play, controls really well. Oh, come on. Now, I watch people play this game on playthroughs and stuff, and they make it look easy. I get very flustered very quickly on it. Oh, get out of it. Oh. Yes! Whoa! Phew! Oh my god, got to do it again. Now, I know from watching various videos, there's oh, there's like a space level as well. I've never ever on any version managed to get near that. So how far have you managed to get on Tapper? What was your favourite conversions? Now, I've said this before about this game. Certainly about the Spectrum version. Oh shit! About the Spectrum version, it's one that when you're talking about great arcade conversions, doesn't seem to get featured much, but it should because it is brilliant. How much do you want to drink, mate? Jesus Christ! Ah! But really, really enjoying this. I've been playing this quite a lot on the BBC. Oh shit! Damn! Oh balls! Right. Oh yeah, go on then. I'll have that. Really, really great, fun version of Tapper that was. Right. Let's move on to. I think I said in the intro it was the Commodore 64. So let's move on to that. Righty ho! Welcome back. Commodore 64 version now. I'm going to be playing this with. Keyboard, although there is, sorry, with a joystick, although there is the option for the keyboard, I'm going to try with the joystick, but I'll be crap at it whatever I do. So, as usual, let me know your thoughts, memories, etc. of this. Now, obviously, the colours in this are a bit more sensible than in the BBC Micro version, but I think the graphics on the BBC one looked really nice. These are fine. The sound's a bit muted. The colours are a bit dark. I'm not sure if that's to do with the settings on my TV, but I suspect not because the other games that I've sort of played on it. Whoa! Oh, you dickhead! Oops, that's one life gone. Yeah, the sound on it is really an awful lot simpler than you would normally expect from a Commodore 64 game. It's SID chip. The sort of tune is really quite simple in makeup. Oh, right, we get to the bonus round now. Now, I've just noticed that in this, and I think the BBC version, it says Mountain Dew. I'm not sure what it says in the Amstrad version, but in the Spectrum version, it was definitely Pepsi, I'm sure. Right, I think it was that one. And it was. Yay, go Baz. Right, yeah. So music's livening up a bit now. It's not a bad version of the game at all, I don't think. Commodore fans, what are your... oh, you twit. Commodore fans and aficionados, what are your memories of your version of the game? Again, this game is proof of the old adage that the simple ones are the best, often. Oh! Whoopsie. Now, like I say, I mean, this is one of my favourite games, but I can't get very far in it at all, never have been able to. And, ooh! Ah, come on. Last life, last chance saloon, Baz. Oh, shit. Let's have one more go. Now, it is fun. Don't get me wrong, I think, from Nostalgia Boy's bias point of view, I actually prefer the Spectrum version. Despite it having the obvious graphical limitations which you'll see in the next segment. Ah! But still, you know, the characters are really characterful. Now, I never played Tapper in the arcade. Have you? If so, what's it like? Oh dear, going a bit quicker now. Yeah, alright, I'm hurrying up. I think it's that one. And it is that one. You can, of course, collect the tips that are left. It does get very frantic, this game. And I'm only on the baby levels as well, like beginner. Oh, shite. Oh, don't hurry me up. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, it's going to give me one more life, but I'll go and get myself killed by them, I think. That is the Commodore 64 version of Tapper. Very, very enjoyable game. Now moving on to the Spectrum. Hello and welcome back. Right, here we are at my favoured version, purely because it's the version I played the most, the ZX Spectrum. So let's define my keys. The good old QA OP in space. Let me just shut the tape drawer. Enter. We want skill level. Let's try. Oh no, anything. We'll have easy. Right, and then start. So, of course, going to be Bazza. H. Press any key. Right. Here we go. Now, I always loved this game on the Spectrum. In comparison to the versions that have already been shown, I think this is slightly quicker. And although the graphics are quite messy when the sort of customers' characters merge together, they're still really good representations. And here we go. See what I said about Pepsi instead of Mountain Dew on the Spectrum version. I wonder if that's the same in the Amstrad version. Ah, took my eye off it. Oh, it wasn't that one. Duffed it, you jerk. How rude. I was nowhere bloody near it, was I? Yeah, I think the Spectrum version is really good fun. I enjoyed the BBC Micro and I enjoyed the Commodore 64 version, but I think I find this slightly more playable. That's not being mean to the other versions at all. I've still to try the Amstrad version. But oh shit, come on, someone come out of there quickly. No. Right, yeah, really great game. The music obviously wasn't a 48k specky's strong point, although some people did have a knack of making it sound absolutely fantastic. This version, or sorry, this tune is somewhat annoying, but not to the point where you can't enjoy the game as well. Let's get him some glasses, come on. Oh, shit. Oh, that's like wet, but with shit. Oh dear. Yeah, I used to play this incessantly over Christmas 1986. It was by far the best game in the lot. I did enjoy Nomad, in the bundle that I got with the from Boots with the Specky Plus 2. I did enjoy Nomad, but that was very difficult to get to grips with. Oh, done it again. But yeah, one of the best arcade conversions for the Spectrum, and like I said at the top, it's one that doesn't really get mentioned. You know, when people talk about great arcade conversions, they always talk about, you know, your Chase HQ, R-types, particularly on the Spectrum, R-type. But this game, no, oh shit! People seem to, it never seems to get mentioned that much, and that's a shame, because it really is a good fun game. And if you've never checked it out, if you're one of the sort of 5 people on the planet that have never played Tapper on any system, then by all means go and check it out and you will enjoy it. Like I said, I've never ever played it on the arcade, and I don't know what other systems it surfaced on. I'm sure it was on more than just the Spectrum, BBC, Commodore 64 and Amstrad. Please shout up any other versions you know. I think there might have been a version for the Atari 2600, might have been. Not too sure. I thought I saw a video someone did of it recently. Maybe I imagined it. You can see it sometimes on the Spectrum version, the only sort of thing it can be a bit tricky to see how many customers there are when they're all bunched together, because of the way the Specky's graphics sort of go into each other there. Oh, they don't. Whoa! Ah, never mind. Right, that's Tapper on the ZX Spectrum. One of my favourite Spectrum games. One of my favourite games of all. Right, let's go to the final version, the Amstrad. Okay, and here we are at the final version of the Amstrad CPC 464. Right, I'm going to be playing this with joystick as well. So S to start. Oh, now, yeah, very nice graphics, very colourful. Decent tune going on in the background, plays a really good game. Yeah, I quite like this. I think the controls could be slightly more responsive. Feel a bit spongy. That might just be the joystick that I'm using though. And it might also be the fact that I'm shit. But there don't seem to be any, although there's the music, there don't seem to be any sound effects. And I wonder why that is. I'm sure on some of the other versions when a glass dropped off the table, or when you completed a section, you got a little sort of jingle or a tune, etc. But you don't seem to on this one. And one thing I've noticed, it's a bit more challenging as well. Oh shit. Quite a bit more challenging actually. Ah, come on. That's not to say it's a bad game. Not a bad game at all, but it does seem to be significantly tougher than what has come before. I might, like I say, I might just be imagining that. But let me know what, Amstrad fans, let me know what your memories and thoughts of this are. Yeah, it does seem to be more challenging. Ah, come on. Oh, fuck off. This, I'm sure this is the beginner level as well. Come on, Jesus Christ. Off. Come on. I'm trying my best. This is only the second level. I'm trying my best. Yeah, there's no sort of sound effect when you lose a life. Ah. They're coming out of nowhere. They love my root beer. I love root beer. Who doesn't love root beer? I've done a video, I've mentioned root beer in a video before. Fantastic stuff. Ah! Come on. Oh, come on, please. Oh, for God's sake. Fuck off, the pair of you! Ah! Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, okay, that was the Amstrad CPC 464 version of Tapper. Okay, let's go to the outro. Okay, so there you have it. Tapper on the BBC Micro, Commodore 64, ZX Spectrum and Amstrad CPC 464. I'm happy to report there's not a bad version amongst them. The BBC Micro version I was really pleasantly surprised at. I thought that played really well, very, very colourful, nice sounds, everything. It was a really, really, really nice, fun game to play. Commodore 64 wasn't what I expected from the C64 sound-wise, but then it probably is one of the earliest games. Played okay. yeah, it was a very, very decent game. Graphics were slightly sort of dull colour-wise, but still plenty going on. The Spectrum version is, you know, it's the one I played the most, the one I have the most experience with, the one I enjoyed the most. You could see its differences from the other versions, obviously the Spectrum's colour limitations, etc., meaning that when you get more customers approaching the tap at a time, they all kind of bled into one, and it was difficult to see exactly how many there were. The Amstrad version, nice and colourful, nice and tuneful. I don't know if it was me, but I found it really hard, quite a bit more so than the other versions. But having said that, it still played a really, really good game of Tapper. Now, I only showed you a couple of levels on it. Like you all know, I am really, really shit at playing games, but I love them, and that is one of my favourite games of all time. One of the few from back in the day that I still come back to frequently to play, just for a sort of quick bash at. I think it's just to waste 20 minutes, a half an hour. Never been any good at it, probably never will be. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are about what you saw, what your own personal experiences are of Tapper, what you liked, what you didn't like about the versions I've just shown you. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you like the video, please let me know. If you wish to subscribe, please do. But you know what I always say now. If you're going to subscribe, please join in the conversation and the discussions. That's what it's all about. It's Friday. The weekend's just about to start. I hope you have a fantastic one. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.